All right. Well, thank you everyone for letting me know what you're grateful for and keep dropping those gratitudes in the chat. I am grateful that you all showed up this evening to take time out of your day to be here with this conversation with us around conscious consumerism and conscious business. So my name is Beth Flemming, and I am a holistic entrepreneur. And today we're going to be having this discussion around, what is conscious consumerism? What is conscious business? And we're going to be talking about the platform of the Purium economy and how it really exemplifies both of these ideas. And we are currently in a time where it's very consumeristic, right? There's Black Friday going on, there's the holidays coming on. And if you're like me, it's a little bit overwhelming. And there's a point in my life at one point where I was like, I just want to step out of the entire system, out of the entire consumerism. And then there was a point where I realized, we're all consuming and we're all selling on some level every single day. And it's really the manner in which we do it that decides if it's helping the planet, helping community, helping people, or if it's working against potentially and becoming a detriment to our health and our societies. So just curious, I'd love to see in the chats, who knows what conscious consumerism is? Maybe just drop a couple thoughts in the chat. I'd love to hear what that is. At one point in time, I really felt that to be a conscious person or individual, it meant no consumerism. And then I realized that's not possible. So for me, conscious consumerism is partaking in platforms that are maybe, co-ops, community collectives, barter and trade systems, supporting local and small businesses. But I'd be curious to see in the chats. Anybody have any ideas? What is conscious consumerism? Supporting companies that do waste reduction. Exactly, Kristina. Any other thoughts? For me, it really brings to mind about thinking about our future generations and what kind of planet we want to leave behind for future generations to come. So the definition of a conscious consumer is a shopper who is increasingly choosing to make conscious buying decisions by purchasing local from small businesses, ethical and environmentally friendly products, that consumers are deliberately making purchasing decisions that they believe have a more positive social, economic, and environmental impact on the world. So I'm seeing more come in the chat, considering the impact of our purchases, being aware of the companies and the values we are supporting, supporting companies that improve the world. Exactly. These are all conscious consumerism habits. Other things are avoiding single-use plastic, or companies that use a lot of highly manufactured or chemical processes, supporting companies that repurpose items, companies that are constantly striving to help the environment or give back to the environment, as well as their communities, and thinking about sustainability when growing. So something that I've recognized is that in order to be a conscious consumer, there actually has to be conscious businesses out there that are providing the good services and ideas that we can then consciously consume. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today, is what are the principles of a conscious business? And so when you're consuming, you can look at companies and businesses and think about, do they have these characteristics that would qualify as a conscious business? And the conscious business that we're specifically going to be talking about today is the Purium Green Economy. So Purium is an amazing health and wellness company that is not only changing the way people eat, but we're literally changing the way people live. We are a lifestyle company that is spreading a movement of economic freedom and plant-based wellness. Our main tagline is eat better, feel better, live better. And we are a business that practices being a conscious business so that we can attract conscious consumers. So currently, yes, we are part of the green, we call it Green Friday instead of Black Friday, because we're focusing on our sustainable imprint that we can leave. We have amazing Green Friday sales happening right now that our emphasis is on nourishing and detoxifying the body so that we can really have a strong body, mind, and spirit, healthy immune systems, really take in whole food nutrition, vegan proteins, really, really alkaline greens, and gut health, and so much more. So if someone invited you to this call today, you can ask them what are our Green Friday specials. And I'm going to share with you a bit on this call about how, if you choose to, be a consumer of Purium products, how you can feel really good about that in terms of supporting a conscious business. So a conscious company, they say, is one that is really guided by values, purpose, mission, and vision. So I'd love to see in the chat if you have a couple companies that come to mind that you support. Maybe they're small businesses, maybe they're friends companies. I'd love to see in the chat, what are some of these conscious businesses that you support, that are very value driven, very purpose driven, very mission and vision driven, and hopefully Patagonia, yes. We can check them out if you don't know who. Crunchy, says Deborah. Koyuchi is a company that I like to support, organic clothing. Pela and Nagic. Okay, beautiful. So there are these great companies out there that we support. So there's a couple key pillars in what is a conscious business. Number one is that the company is really trying to establish a higher purpose. Number two, that it adopts a value-based business model rather than just purely an economic gains model. Number three is that there's actually conscious leadership in the company. Number four is that it invests in team and community and colleagues, as well as an investment in helping people get their time back. Number five, the companies take on a certain level of social responsibility for their communities. And number six, sorry guys, I'm just going to check the chat here if you're not muted.
I was going to vacuum.
Oops. There we go. Social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and companies that really develop a culture around what they are doing. So I always like to say this: when you're building a business or you're an entrepreneur who's part of a business, building your business is really about building a community that stands for something. And when it was 4 years ago that I really decided to make this pivot into conscious business development. At the time, I was a solo entrepreneur, and I was doing my best to try to develop different businesses that were done consciously. But to be honest, I wasn't living totally in alignment, because I was just trying to pay the bills. And I was noticing that I was trying to do so many things as an entrepreneur and trying to be educated in all the ways so I could do all the things, that I was falling short and really sticking true to my mission and my purpose and my value-based way of wanting to live. And so 4 years ago, I decided that I wanted to partner and learn from other companies that were really modeling this conscious business platform. And that's when I found Purium. And I quickly found that Purium aligns with all of these 7 characteristics of a conscious business. For one, establishing a higher purpose. We literally are a company that's dedicated to making the world a better place through wealth empowerment and health empowerment. We've adopted a value-based model that is focused on health, wealth, planet, purpose, and community. We have very conscious leadership within our company. We have owners that are constantly listening to the consumers, and what do the consumers need, and what do they want, and how can we model that, and how can we create that for them. And in this business model that we're in, it really motivates everyone to be a leader. So not to be a leader so you have followers, but to be a leader so that you can help other people step into their greatness and become that leader as well, so that it's an equal playing field for all. In terms of investing in community and team, this company really believes that it's only as strong as the people who are modeling the business. So we really invest in people. We really invest in creating high quality products so that we can feel passionate and purposeful and meaningful in what we're sharing. In terms of social responsibility, we're an education-based company that we're always thinking about who is benefiting from our services, who are we supporting, and how can we be in service. We are based on, we are service driven, so it's not necessarily about the bottom line, but it's more about how many people can we help, how many people can we serve. And of course, when you're serving and helping a lot of people, that also helps the bottom line. So it's very conscious in that way. In terms of environmental responsibility, we're a company that's really leading the way in terms of our plastic-free movement. We're 99% plastic-free. Our owners actually invented the very first non-GMO home compostable packaging, and we use stainless steel containers. And in the last 3 years, we've been able to save 180,000 pounds of plastic from going into the oceans, which is amazing. We also have one of the lowest carbon footprint delivery systems because we've taken out the middlemen and all the transportation that's involved with trucking and facility storage, and we dehydrate the food on the farm. We ship it to our manufacturing plant where we manufacture everything and then ship it directly to your door. So we're taking out a lot of carbon footprint in that way. We support organic farmers to stay in business. At one point, we outbid Monsanto, and in Thailand, they were going to buy up some small organic rice farmers and change it to completely monocultured farms and basically put these small organic farmers out of business. And we helped to outbid it. And now these farmers are still organic farmers and still providing for their families and taking care of the land. We also have a 30-year partnership with our most prominent farm, and that farm is practicing regenerative techniques like irrigating with fresh spring water and really building soil. I think at this point we have 94 feet deep of mineral-rich soil, so our food is fully nourished, which is nourishing our bodies. And then in that, we're being able to provide access to the top 1% organic quality of food to places like food deserts and areas that might have more poverty or lack of access or means to food. So as a small business and as distributors for this company and as partners of this company, we're technically in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves, right? We are a collective mission that is dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for beings all throughout the world and focusing on efforts that are sustainably developing growth, focusing on community collaboration, authentic transparency, and holistic awareness. So I know this is a lot of information, but it just really excites me how Purium is in alignment with all of these 7 attributes of establishing a higher purpose, adopting a value-based model, having conscious leadership, investing in community and social responsibility, environmental responsibility, and creating a culture of bettering the world for others. So, in my first 2 years with this company, because of being in alignment with my values and feeling so passionate about supporting a conscious business, I was actually able to develop a 6-figure business with this company, going from being a single solo entrepreneur mom, really struggling on trying to create conscious business, to thriving and now teaching other people how to create a business that can be thriving financially and emotionally, because you feel really, really good about the work you're doing in the world. So I want to pass it to my colleague, Kristina Ammon, who is a person that I so truly admire because she does live so in alignment with her values. And she's actually the person that introduced me to this conscious business platform. And in creating her business, she's also been able to use that as a platform to further other conscious creations in her life, and has been a super huge role model for me to think about conscious consumerism on a daily basis, think about what are the businesses that I'm supporting or that are emulating conscious business practices. And I'm super excited for Kristina to share a little bit about her story so you guys can really hear how this conscious business is affecting people's lives.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth, and thank you for all of that valuable information. It really sparks for me how important this conversation is. And sometimes I take for granted that sometimes I think, oh, everybody just knows the impact of that purchase they're making. And for me, I had studied early on a lot of the impact of in industry and corporations, and the fact that drop a one in the comments if you know the word externalities, for example. I just kind of want to see, this was a key word that really opened up my eyes as to the world that we're looking at. And so this word externalities is basically the cost of the pollution and the waste and the irreparable damages that industry and corporations can have because of their businesses. And we live in an economy where those externalities, right, the price that we pay on the environment or community health, does not get incorporated into the price that we pay. Drop a two in the comments if that just made sense. So when we go out and we buy cheap stuff in the box stores, it's cheap not because it's really cheap, it's because the corporations didn't have to factor in the entire cost of what it took to make that product. And so we're bought in because we're like, it's cheap. And now we're really unconscious consumers because, like Mary Beth said, so many people are stuck on the hamster wheel, or just finances are tight as a reality, and low prices can be very appealing. So I learned all that early on, and similar to what Mary Beth said, I was very disheartened about consumption, and I kind of went, the pendulum the other way. Like, I don't want anything to do with anything material. I don't want anything to do with money or buying. I'm going to have a zero overhead lifestyle. And then I kind of matured and found my life's purpose through permaculture design certification course, where I decided what I really want to do is become a producer. I want to go and help regenerate land that's been damaged and produce a community venue, a retreat center that is full of abundant gardens and orchards and gathering places. And now we can come and it can be like a net, you know, giving back to the earth, right? Producing. So as we went down that path, we were living very modestly, very humbly. There was, I still had the mindset that it's better to not consume, that, we were trying to piecemeal everything together. And what I also recognized in that culture of very low income and, rejecting tapping into the flow of money, which is, it's currency, right? It's meant to just stay current and you can tap into it. But I was staying out of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I had associated it with this sort of negative impact of corporate greed and destruction on the planet. So what I noticed is that a lot of people who, like myself, were creating homesteads or retreat centers or farms, there was a lot of this cheap material being consumed to create, tarp tent structures or PVC pipes or treated lumber for buildings. And I started to really compare that to many of our ancestors on different lands have actually created beautiful homes and beautiful homesteads of very high quality items, resourced in ethical ways and regenerative ways from great materials. And in order to do that today, it can take some money. It can take some upfront money to afford quality. And so I started to kind of close that gap in my mind between money being part of the root of evil to money can be a tool that can help us raise the quality of what we're doing. And, just to get fully into the whole loop of it, is if we have money being paid to lobbyists who are helping influence politicians and what's it called? Legislative decisions, eventually those externalities can be, the corporations can be forced to have to pay those externalities, and then no longer can there be this like cheap stuff, right? So we can see how money has flex. And so there's my little story and then there's the bigger story, but I started to really see that if I can actually become a player in this world stage, and many other people can, people who have this consciousness of the many, many future generations of our planet, and the choices that we're making now, how that will impact today's and future generations, maybe we have a chance at really turning this ship around and seeing a better planet come forth than what the current projections are. So that's what really brings me to the table today, is to really just inspire and mentor and be part of this collective of people who are raising up entrepreneurs, change makers, regenerative farmers, teachers, healers, families, um, pillars in the community, all kinds of people who can help shape this world that we need, that it has a lot to do with how we consume. So back to my story, I started to get on board with the idea of building wealth as a means of creating the best offering that we could on this land, and seeing that if we had the budget, we could increase the quality of the building materials, the vehicles, the solar system, the off-grid system, and that we would be divesting money from other more polluting industries, and being a model of sustainability and regeneration for other people to look at, and hopefully produce on their land as well, and really just help bring more food into the community, and more plant medicine and flowers and gathering spaces and healing and education, and really proliferating culture. So that's really what got me to take a closer look at this business model and see what I could do, was this bigger vision of what we were doing on the land. And as I started to work the business, what really came to me was that since my husband had gone and opened a brick and mortar in order to create the income for the land, what this business was really driving me to do was to bring him home, so that he no longer had to work those 80-hour weeks. And since then, he's now been able to come home. He only works a day and a half a week at his brick and mortar. He's able to be a much more present father. We do a lot more recreating. We get to really center the family. And this is a very unique business model that not only do we get paid in money, which is great, we have resources to do and create, but we also get paid back in time. So we're going to invest part-time hours at the beginning, and we're going to get paid back by really owning our time and making, doing the business in those part-time hours on our own schedule, and really having more time for the kind of wealth that's possible to generate. It isn't like a dollar per hour model. It isn't even like a solopreneur where in order to make money, you have to keep working yourself. You invest these part-time hours and you build an organization, this community that Mary Beth spoke to create this residual income and to create this time freedom. So our family has gotten to have so much more time back to be with each other, to unwind our nervous systems, to really discover who we are, to do the deeper work, that communication work, that looking at those deep parts inside, and coming into our hearts, and our connection with each other, and how we treat ourselves and each other and other humans, and really elevate our relationships, which there is nothing more valuable in my mind, or no greater treasure than our relationships here on earth. So this business is really extraordinary. It has given us a budget to develop the land, to bring in, like I said, building materials, infrastructure, pay for labor, really restore our orchards, bring forth gardens. We're getting the land certified organic right now. And really take a lot of time as a family to recreate and play, to take trips, and my husband has been also able to follow, we've both been able to follow our passion, mine of dancing and singing, and his of paragliding, and also now flying airplanes. So he's getting his pilot's license and just bought himself an airplane, which is amazing. And we're going to use it to fly to other islands around where we live and surf and paraglide and just have a lot of fun as a family and laugh a lot. I think I put that in the comments. What I'm grateful for is laughter. And that's really what I'm here for. So I'm in awe of what a choosing to become a producer and a conscious consumer and helping be part of a movement that's generating awareness around this and what's possible, because so many of us, like Mary Beth and I just started out, are still in that place of, getting involved in money is a mess, getting involved in consumerism is going to destroy the planet, and stay away from it. Or they're just ravenously consuming toxic materials and waste and plastic and just voting with their dollar to just continue the destruction path that we're on. And so we're a disruptor economy, a disruptor business model, and we're a disruptor with even the the health industry, by really helping people get true, pure, vibrant foods into their bodies and not rely on pharmaceuticals and not choose chemical foods. And so how does it all work? How do we get started and how do we break that down? So the very first thing we do is we get to give to ourselves. When we invest in our health and choose the superfoods, almost everybody starts with a 30-day program to just flood your body with nutrition, and also have some herbs that are going to detoxify in a gentle, gradual way. That investment is going to get you a free business. And with this business is all of that free mentorship, all of that free community, and gift codes that mean when you share your story, when you tell someone else, when you invite someone to a presentation just like this and they end up purchasing, your gift code activates a discount for them and it activates a commission for you. And now they're linked to your account for the longevity of their purchasing, which could be their entire life, which means you're earning a percentage on that one sale and for the entirety of your career or their life, or whichever comes first. So that is part of the residual income. That's like an affiliate link. And then the other piece of it is that we're, through this leadership building platform, we're linking arms with other people who are either entrepreneurs already and want to leverage this platform to expand their offerings and also build residual income, or people who are hungry for financial transformation in their life and want to become entrepreneurs. So for myself, I was not an entrepreneur before this, but followed all the steps, learned the ropes, and was able to also rise to the top of the company and create all of these opportunities for our family. So through the team building and the leadership development, which is honestly my favorite part, we create residual income, and we also help raise up other top income earners who are also going out there and producing beautiful, conscious creations here on earth. And that's what really leads to the kind of exponential growth that is very unique to this business model. So most people get started with one of our top 3 packs, the highest value pack being the 30-day nutrition plus athletes products for $5.25, $17 a day. And you're going to also add in some whole foods to that. You're not just having superfoods, but that'll cover 60 meals of that month and a little bit and plenty of extra. Then our middle of the line pack is $364. It's that same 30 days of nutrition and detox plus an immune product for $364, or our basic 30 days of nutrition and detox. It's 60 superfood meals and a whole bunch of amazing things for $329. So when you make that purchase, you're going to get a free business. If you purchase this up until I think the end of Tuesday. There's some incredible Green Friday specials and promos. If you spend that over $100, there's an extra gift. If you spend over 400, there's another extra gift. So many things to be grateful for. And most importantly, the gift of being able to be a conscious player in this world stage of what we are creating and offering the future generations. So I'm so deeply honored to be here with you, Mary Beth, and also with this entire community. And thank you for coming and considering this if you are here doing so. And Mary Beth, do you have anything in closing you want to share?
No, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story and your impact. And it really has been so life-changing to step into this model of not only conscious consumerism like I used to be doing, but also conscious business. And like you said, being a player. And, we named quite a few companies that are doing that but to be able to be a part of a company that I really feel like is my family and my home is something that I'm really excited to share with others about, because I know many people are longing for that conscious business community or that conscious home to be a part of. And we just so happen to have it here. So get back with the person who invited you here. They can answer any questions you have, or let you know about the Green Friday sales. But we're really excited to welcome you into this conversation and potentially this business if it's something you're feeling called to do yourself. So I'm going to stop the recording. And if there's any questions, you can jump off mute and ask Kristina or I.